Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible. And I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? Hi everybody, welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. You are with me, your host, Simone Millicers, and I have you somewhere very special today. I'm at Costa Rica and we are at El Lugar, which is I say resort that we're building, but the word resort really doesn't do this place any justice whatsoever. It's like this magical, fairyland, think Avatar movie, the earth is just so alive and so grateful that we're here and it's amazing. And I'm definitely not camera ready. So I went, let's just film El Lugar as we do this. We just got back from horse riding. And today I have with me a special guest also. He's been on the podcast quite a few times. He's one of the favorites and he happens to be here in Costa Rica with me. And it's Mr. David Kubis, Dr. David Kubis, sorry. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for having me again on your amazing podcast.
Thank you. And I just want to say a shout out to all of you who are giving me feedback. I'm super, super grateful that you listen to the podcast every week, and please, subscribe, follow, share it, do all that, write reviews, whatever you can to contribute to get this out there. I am truly honored. So today, and this month actually, we're going to be talking a lot about money and creation and actualization of different possibilities in the world. So, which is very fitting that we are here at El Lugar today and talking about this. But one of the things I was having a chat with you the other day, David, and you were talking about how people make money so significant. And they make money so significant. And you were talking about changing the significance of it by looking at that money is energy. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, money is not something that derives from nature. Money is an artificial invention of mankind. And if you make something that was artificially created by mankind to support creation as the source of creation, at least it makes total sense that it doesn't work. If money is something that supports you, if money is an energy, it supports the creation. So creation has to come first. And what I actually did in that conversation we had, I said, well, just look at your points of view that you have about money. I don't have enough money. There's not enough money. I need money to get started. I wish I had more money. Just do that little game with yourself and exchange the word money with energy. Who would do that? Who would say there's not enough energy? I'm constantly running out of energy. I need energy to start that. And even if you go, I need energy to start that, do you get how there is no lack in the word of energy? Because we all know there is enough for everyone. So money is energy and there is enough money for everyone. You just have to be willing to use money to support your choices rather than making it the source or the condition for whatever you desire to create in life.
Yeah, and that's one of the things another little exercise you can do as well is if you're driving, don't do this, but shut your eyes if you can. And what I want you to do is perceive money all around the world. Like I'm talking all currencies, it could be, you could see the colors of it. You could see, the shapes and the amounts, etc. of it. But perceive the money all around the world and put your attention on all the money absolutely everywhere. Now, what I want you to have a look at is there, as David was referring to, is there a lack of money or is there just people choosing a lack of money? And we might piss you off when we say that. And, I was here today and I was doing this video and I went, you know what? I said, guys, I have a private casa that's been built here at this property. I also have an investment property that's been built here. I also have, I'm a part owner of a castle in Italy. I have investments at home. I have, very successful stock portfolios. It's like, I've invested in a gym. It's like there's different things that I have that have contributed to my life that I've chosen. But there was a time when I struggled to get an economy ticket to fly from Australia to the US. Like truly struggled. And then I couldn't afford a hotel room. So I would sleep on people's floors on a mattress, when I went to a class over in the US. And I was telling Gary the other day, I remember staying at this one house, and I was like, as soon as I sort of, had a shower and stayed there, I was like, oh my God, I just didn't want to be around people. And the house was a little grotty, etc. And I remember going, okay, that's enough. I need to demand that I actually create something different here. And I went to that I can stay in a hotel room and I can share it. So I went to, okay, I have to share a hotel room. And then there's a mutual friend of ours, Susie Godsey. I remember at one point she looked at me and she went, we're not sharing anymore, are we? You're going to start to get a hotel room on your own. I went, yes, because I like the space. But each demand that you make, it's like this pivot point in your life in regards to money that allows you to, listen to the whispers and see the possibilities that show up. But you've got to take some action. Hence my, podcast, Choice, Change, Action. You've got to take that action to start choosing what that is. Now, you just mentioned too, it's like not about the money, it's about, that choice, like that initial generative energy to create something. Can you talk more about that?
Well, yes, and thank you for the for the little note that we might piss some of the listeners off.
Oh yeah,
if
but
I would listen,
that's just them going. There's them going. Fuck you, Simone and David. You have this. Yeah, but we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
We chose it.
I also didn't. I didn't grow up rich. I was struggling with money as well. I had 5 jobs when I was at university, and it wasn't fun. And I made that demand as well, that, oh my God, this needs to change now because I'm not willing to live this life of struggle and not having. But that's exactly that's the moment when you can make this choice, because that moment when you get pissed off, you have choice. You can look, wow, I'll have that too. You can actually make that demand to change the situation rather than going, I don't have money, so I'm the victim and I can't have it. I mean, this is the choice, and this is not a one-off choice that will from now on guide your life. This is the choice you can make every time when you go there, when you're being pissed off, when you have this moment of, fuck, where's the money? Oh my God, I have to pay a bill. I want that and the money isn't there. It's those moments when you can make the choice, okay, let's change it. Let's make that demand and let's take some action to change it. But it's the underlying energy you function from. You can go from curiosity and I'll have that. That's kind of expansive demand rather than lack and victim energy.
So a story you told me a long time ago, and we may have spoken about this in a previous podcast, but it's one of my favorite stories. I think you were 8 and you were on a plane to New York. Can you tell the listeners about that and the demand in your world?
Yeah, I had an aunt that lived in New York and my parents didn't have a lot of money. So I actually started walking a dog at the age of 7 to afford a plane ticket to visit my aunt in New York.
Oh my God, little David Kruger is walking dogs to
every afternoon.
But that's a 7-year-old demanding, I want to go see my aunt in New York.
Yeah, and of course it wasn't enough, but my grandmother gave me a little bit and my aunt gave me a little bit. So as an 8-year-old, you have to travel as an unaccompanied minor, and you had to sit in first row economy right behind business class. And I remember sitting on the aisle seat, and there was this curtain to business class, and they had movies, and they served lobster and champagne. It was in the 80s, so it was way more elegant back then. And the curtain was slightly open, and I was sitting there watching it going, wow, they have champagne. They can watch movies on big screens. They have all this. And then the stewardess came, saw me, closed the curtains, turned around and went into business class. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. But that was the moment when I made the demand. This is what I want. I want to sit there on the other side of the curtain, enjoying all of that. But I didn't go into she's mean and all of that. I have that fuck off moment. But from that moment on, I was like, okay, I want that. And since that was an underlying energy that kept being part of my life. The demand for it. I was more looking into how can I create it rather than how poor and how mean is the world and it's so unfair and I'm unfortunate. This is the choice you can make. The underlying energy you function from, that what drives you every day. If that's curiosity and having a true demand for more, not based on lack or victim, then money will always show up and support you. This is how nature generates. Nature regenerates itself all the time. And you can be part of that generative energy that keeps going rather than stopping and looping back and going, oh my God, it's so unfair. I'm so unfortunate.
Yeah, so I want to say right now, if you're listening to this and you are going to that, you could go, but David, Simone, I have this list of reasons and justifications. You don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know how I grew up. You don't know, all the shitty things about me. Then please put your energy on that. Like, and then everything that is, everything, will you please destroy and uncreate that? That is not you. You are far greater than that. You are far more brilliant than that. And if there is no one else around that is telling you that, we're telling you that right here, right now. You can actually create something far greater. So recently, David, you and I just actually got a jet from Mexico to Costa Rica. Do you want to tell your version of getting this jet? Because I know my version.
Well, my version of this jet is that going from Puerto Vallarta to San Jose on a commercial flight takes 9 hours with a stopover in Mexico City, which is a horrible airport. And of course, there is the possibility to take a private jet, which normally is $20,000, and it's just a 3-hour, 30-minute flight, so it's a small jet. So Simone texted me and said, "Don't you want to? Let's get a jet to Costa Rica." And I thought, "Yeah, sure. Let's get some quotes." So we got quotes for a small, a mid-size, and a large jet, 20, 30, and 45,000. So we went for the mid-size. I think
a little bit out of our comfort zone.
So,
but we were taking some friends as well.
And then we were counting the luggage, and it was like, oh, I don't know, that's heavy. If you go on a jet, you don't want to sit on your own suitcases. And then Simone Pinkman said, how about the big one?
A G200.
A G200, a $45,000 jet for a 3-hour, 30 flight. And I remember that because I went into fuck, that was light.
Yeah.
I literally gone to fuck, that was light. Because spending $45,000 for a 30-minute flight was light. So it was light for me. I go, okay, this will create more. And at the same time, I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. So I did go into, okay, what else could I do with the money? If I went on a commercial flight, $1,000 now, 50% of 45,000 is almost $25,000. I mean, $24,000, having it as a playing money or not. But I stopped that. I stopped analyzing these choices, and I stopped analyzing what else. I just stopped it and go, no, the first thing you got was yes. So follow your energy and do it.
So can you talk more to everyone about that? Because you were just saying that this is light. I know what you're talking about, and you got a yes. Like what is that process, and how do people use that as a tool?
Well, the process is actually what's light, okay, what opens you up. Or a lot of people say, follow the first impulse, your intuition. That's
your gut instinct.
Yes, that the first thing that you get, when you meet people, when you hear something, you have to make a choice. It's that first thing that comes up, which is what will work. This is when you follow the energy. What we do then, we go into our head, into our brain, and start analyzing it. So we are destroying our knowing through thinking.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to it. Like, it's a tool that I use all the time. Yes, no. With yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So when I asked and I looked at it, and I started to look at that medium jet, and I was like, oh, we are going to be really squishy. Hey, first world problems. And then I went, what about the G200? And when I pinged David, for me, it was a beyond energy for me, but everything about it, I went, yes. And it's not about, like, right, you mentioned right at the beginning of this podcast, like, money is not about working it out. It's not a how, it's the choice and like that generative energy of creation. So for me, I went, oh, more is going to show up. Do I know how more is going to show up? No. And it's like I could go, oh, I need, a certain amount of private sessions, or I need more people to come to my class, or I need to sell more books, or I need to do all that. But notice that energy of this need before you actually choose, rather than, and I know that it's asking a lot to just sort of go, can you please just jump off the cliff and leap? But when you just choose, as David said, what makes you feel lighter, or you get this big yes in your world, it's like when you choose that, the universe has your back, consciousness has your back, and will go, okay, you just opened a door. I'm going to open up a door even greater and even more for you and give you more possibilities. Are you willing to choose even greater and greater and greater and greater? It's like, that's literally how it works.
It is. It also, it is, and you don't need to go on a private jet in order to create more. Okay, so when I had to, I wouldn't choose it if I knew it could kind of destroy my
Yeah.
income. So I know, okay, $25,000 per head is a lot, but I also know my income, so it wouldn't really harm.
Thank you for saying that.
It
It's
wouldn't
relative.
harm. Yes, it's relative. Okay, it wouldn't harm. I don't know, my basic needs of life, like paying rent or buying food. So you can try that out with tiny little choices. Okay, most important is the choosing, and energy doesn't make money significant for. So energetically, it's the same choice. Do I buy an espresso, a coffee in a coffee shop, or do I drink my coffee at home? Yes, no. This is where you actually risk $1 or $2. Or are we going private on a smaller big jet? The energy underneath that is the same. It's about following what will create greater. I got it energetically. Wow, I can do that. I give that to myself. That changes the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I be. It changes the energy around me. It changes all of that. I turned myself into a wow for like 2 months because it was so exciting for me. And being that wow for 2 months, in the meantime, created so much more. I mean, there was a new project that showed up in my law firm. I'll make way more than what I spent on that chat by that. But I didn't know that, and I didn't expect it because it's not linear. It doesn't go, if I choose this, then this will show up. No, if I make a choice, something will show up. And if you allow yourself to choose what's light, something that you really will enjoy and that expands your life in whatever way will show up.
Yeah. But it's not about making it right. It's not about going, oh no, I definitely get a yes. That's definitely light, when you know it's not. It's like, don't lie to yourself. You've done enough lying to yourself your whole entire life. What if now is the time to stop lying to yourself? Lie to others, manipulate others, but don't lie to yourself,
And remember, I got a yes, because I didn't want to spend so much money.
I was the one at home drinking cocktails with a friend, and it was morning for you because you were in Europe. So I was like, I was the one having a few cocktails. I was having a few cocktails, and I said yes to a G20, G200, sorry. God, I hope that bird that just flew by, you got that on the YouTube. So if you're listening to us on this podcast, there's this beautiful, amazing bird that is like soaring around in front of us, and you can check it out on the YouTube channel that I have as well. Just so beautiful and stunning. So I want to tell you, you just reminded me of actually an energy that a story of how I used that when I used to travel to the US, etc. And I was saying about how I made the demand and went, okay, I need to choose. I would like to choose a hotel, so I did choose a hotel room, and I was scraping by. Like, it wasn't like I had all the money in the world to do that. Chose the cheapest standard room at this hotel where the class was, and I was at reception checking out. And Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, and I'd worked with for quite a few years. I was the worldwide coordinator. As I was checking out, he took the bill to my hotel room and paid it. And I remember looking at him and going, oh, really? And he said, yes. And he said, you know what? Sometimes I can do stuff like this, and I'd like to do that. So it's funny. I made the demand. I stayed in a standard hotel room, and it was a big deal. But I was like, I had my credit card out. I was proud that I was about to pay for it. And then he went and paid for it and gifted it to me. So how many gifts have you been refusing from the people around you, from the whole entire universe, by not having the trust in your awareness of what else can show up? And everything that is, where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you've been listening to me, I'm sure you know about it. Go to theclearingstatement.com. basically what we're doing is going, stop it. Let's destroy and
Yep.
uncreate all those limitations that you've been choosing and just stop it and start living that adventurous life with all these different choices that are available. And it doesn't have to be massive. Like David said, it doesn't have to be a jet.
It can be. The energy is the same. If you enjoy creating or reading or doing whatever in a cafe, at a restaurant, and then you go, oh my God, I could do that at home as well, it costs less. I would question that choice and ask, well, what would my life be like if I chose this in 5 years from now? And then follow that energy. Because if you sit in a cafe spending $5 or euro on a drink while you are creating, you are in a different energy because you just honored yourself, you're just being kind to yourself, and you just created that what will create more. And it doesn't mean that you will meet someone at that cafe that will then hire you or something. Okay, don't go into these Hollywood stories. Okay, it might occur, but it doesn't have to, because as I said, it's not linear. But you being the that energy of honoring yourself, being excited, it's energies first. Okay, you create that energy of, wow, I'm gifting this to myself, I'm investing this in my future, I'm taking care of myself. And if you have that energy, you attract these energies, and people will see you in a different way, because you will open up with you will walk on the street with your head up high, being proud, with a big smile. That's what attracts money, and that what attracts business opportunities. And this is what will turn you into the valuable product, because it's rare to see happy, proud people out there.
Yeah, and it's two things just came up for me that I want to share. I actually have a Hollywood story, and there's a woman that I was doing private sessions on many years ago. Many years ago, when we used to have video shops. Remember those? And you go to the video shop, and she wanted to work in film, and we kept sort of looking at this and etc. And she said, you know, I just got offered this job at this video shop, and we were mucking around going, living the dream, and I said, well, is it light in your world? Like, do you get a yes? And she said, yes, they do. So I said, what if you choose that, and then you can see what else can show up? So she chose it, and then she started working, and then 2 months in, she met this really famous New Zealand director, and she met him because that was his local video shop, and they used to talk like on the weekend and stuff like that when he'd go to get a movie, like what movie you've been watching and blah blah blah, that whole thing. So she had that interaction and engagement with him, which she probably would never have had. Now, a couple of months later, she ended up leaving that video shop and going to work for him. So that is a Hollywood story by literally following the energy. Like, she was like, hey, you know what? This is not going to be my career working in a video shop, but it's but she found what it was she was looking for.
Yeah, it was one step along her whatever her road, or her choices, because this is it's not linear, and don't expect it. Don't go into, oh, where could I find this, what strategic choice could I make
Yeah.
in order to. I did that a lot. Sometimes it worked, but in a very limited way, just following what's really light and what makes you happy and what's nurturing for you. That's, if you follow that, something greater will come back. That's guaranteed. If you try to figure out what choice to make in order to might work, okay. A lot of people got where they wanted to be by all this visualizing and all this strategic planning. It's hard work, and you never know how much you could actually miss out, because when you focus on something, you only can get what you focus on. If you have no point of view, if you're completely open, following, okay, that's fun, that's light for me, that makes me happy, then you have access to the unlimited possibilities that are out there. And then we're talking about having a great life and living.
So you've mentioned a couple of times too, David, about not having any expectations. Can you talk more about that?
Yes, having expectations, not having expectations. It's I was a big dreamer as a kid. I had this idea, and you have these visions and ideas and dreams, but an expectation is when you add to your dreams that this is the way how it should be. Every time when you go into it should or it should not, you're doing actually judgment. So when you dream, when you visualize, when you, I don't know, laying your life out how you would like to have it in the next 5 years. Every time you go and this is how it should be and this is how it should not be, you're doing actually judgment, and then you are limiting it. This is where you have an expectation, and when you have an expectation, you miss out the other opportunities that are out there. A lot of people, I know a lot of people, and I did it myself, visualizing stuff and then focusing on it. It does work to a certain extent, but that full and unlimited access to what is possible, what's truly nurturing, it's actually the unknown that makes you happy. And
Yeah.
that's you know be curious of how it could show up rather than trying to figure out how it should show up. Curiosity, question opens possibilities. I'm trying to figure it out, and expecting it a certain way will always limit what you can create.
I love that, David. Thank you so much. And I want to just reiterate one thing that we were talking about as well, is that it's relative to where you are. Like, I'm going to London in a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh, I'm really excited to go to London and have money. Because I used to live in London many, many years ago, and I lived in a 3-bedroom house with 21 people with 1 bathroom. Like, and everyone goes, oh my God, but it was so much fun at the time. You always wore shoes in the kitchen because it was pretty gross, and I don't ever remember waiting for the bathroom. But I also remember walking past all these fabulous restaurants, and like almost like drooling at the window, like especially the ones with white tablecloth and a beautiful big wine glass. I always loved that look. But I knew that that was not for today. That was not my priority right then. My priority was making more money so that I could go traveling more around Europe. And I think that's really important to have a look at that. Like when we were telling the jet story, it's like it could be anything for you, but have a look at what is your priority. Like if I went into one of those 5-star, 4-star restaurants and ate a meal there, I would have been pretty screwed for the week with the amount of money I had. So it's like, it's not about destroying your life, it's about creating your life. So you've got to look at what's relative, what's the priority, and what can you choose today that creates that greater future.
I kind of always ask, is this a short-term, medium-term, or long-term desire I have in life? Like going on that private jet now, it was awesome, it was great. But doing that every time I have to catch a plane, for me, is a long-term desire. Because now it would limit my financial freedom totally. So we were talking about the 7 days in Houston in June. Just spent $25,000 on a private jet for a 3-hour flight. I got a first-class flight to Houston Air France. This time I did what I think a really cool choice, because I used my miles to get business class ticket and then an upgrade voucher that I got last year to upgrade to first class. So I'm spending $300 for a first class ticket.
And that's just as exciting and thrilling.
It's just as exciting and thrilling. It's not, oh, I have to save money because I just spent so much on the jet, I have to save my travel expenses. No, it was actually really fun to find out for how little money can I get into first class.
Yeah.
And then I found the way. But the excitement, the underlying energy about it, this curiosity, it's the same. And I don't go, oh, I just went on a jet. Now I'm doing jet only. A private jet from Europe to Houston would be $150,000. No. In the future, yes, definitely. When? No clue. Now, doesn't work.
And I know that if that doesn't show up, you're going to be okay. Like, that's the thing. It's like you can ask for it, you can demand of yourself, request of the universe, but you don't make it about that. That's where that expectation comes in, and then you go, oh, I'm less than, or I'm lacking, or etc. if you don't get it. No, it's just a request, but who knows what else is going to show up in the interim.
Exactly. It's not a necessity, it's a choice.
Yes.
And that's actually what I started playing with myself a lot recently. What if it wasn't a necessity?
David, this is a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. You started playing with yourself a lot. I'm sorry,
verbally playing, of course. What if it wasn't
naughty.
A necessity? What if it was just a choice?
I'm sorry, I'm being naughty. He looked at me with a very surprised look on his face.
An exciting look.
So you and I could talk about money all day. So I think we might leave it here. But I really hope you guys get that what we're talking about is it's not about the actual money. It's about the choices that you make and the energy with that, and that I'm going to say that joyful expression and exuberance that you can choose from, and that generative energy that you just go, yes, I'm having that too. And then you keep living. You every day you choose, like, and you take action. Like, what gets you closer to happy, gets you closer to greater. Because I know you don't make it about the money. I don't make it about the money, and we're willing to receive it. Like, now, if you're watching, please go check out this video on YouTube. You actually don't see me and David, but you see this beautiful property, El Lugar, like I said, in Costa Rica, and it's like that. You can't put a price on that.
Exactly. Well,
we have. If you want to invest in a casa, you can actually contact us.
And you can come and stay here. It will be a resort where
we will be putting a price on it.
We will be putting a price on it.
So forget what I said. No, but this view, this whole energy, this sense of space, the peace, it's like, oof, how does it get any better than that?
So if you want to get anything out of this, why don't you try the following? For the next 3 days, gift yourself one thing, just because it's nurturing, just because you like it, just because it makes you happy, whatever that is. Honor yourself by making a choice that nurtures you. It might involve money, it might not involve money, okay? It's having a nice dinner in an expensive restaurant, or just turning your phone off for a few hours and reading a book, okay? What is nurturing for you? Choose it when it's light, and then see what shows up. Try it. Don't make it with a significant issue or amount. Just start practicing to honor yourself and be kind to yourself, because that turns you into a happy person. And happy people will always attract money. When you are happy, you are the honey, and money are the bees.
Money follows joy. Joy doesn't follow money, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much, David, for coming on here. I'm just going to turn the camera around now so that we can say hello. I'm very much in my cage gear. David's here, and I wanted to show you what we've been using as a microphone. It's our resident toucan. No, yes. It's not a real. If you're not listening, if you're not watching, it's not a real toucan. It's a stuffed toy that we had our microphone stuck to, and I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you so much, David, for being here. I absolutely adore you. And if people want to find out more about your stuff, where can they go to?
I have a website, drdavidkubis.com. And if you really want to find out more, well, then get to work, take some action, and Google me. See if you can find me.
I'm so easy to Google my name. There is no other Simone Millis's in the world, so it's brilliant.
Well, watch out. There is a real estate agency in Miami. And the guy who owns it is called David Kubis. So I'm not a real estate agent, no. Okay.
Well, yet. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And please share this, subscribe, review, do all that stuff. And thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMillises.com and follow me on Instagram at SimoneMillises, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change, and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes. And lastly, have way too much fun today.